We're back with Brian Keane. I hope you're enjoying the tracks. The whole point of this show is we get guests on from the networking world and the business world. They choose their music. We talk about the music. We talk about their business. And this is why we're here with Brian Keane. He's talking about all the music he's played, but he also has another business that we've not touched on yet. Can you tell us more about Systems to Grow?
Yeah, this is Prue's baby, really, but it all comes out of franchising. The key to a successful business is their systems. And if you want to grow your business, leverage it, delegate to others, whatever it might be, become a bit hands-off, you need to have systems documented so that people can follow them. And that's the key. I mean, franchising, successful franchise groups, 60% of the effort to franchise your business, possibly even more, depends how complicated the model is documenting your systems. And whilst it's been part of what we've done for a long time, it's become more apparent in recent years, I think, how critical it is if you want to grow. It's one of the big points of difference about businesses that are successful, really successful, and businesses that reach that glass ceiling and just can't get beyond that point of maybe a successful business, but can't give the owner the satisfaction that they really want. So we created Systems to Grow, which is systems numeral 2 grow, because that meant we could offer it to other than franchises. So it's something that we do for conventional businesses of any shape or size, whether it's a mobile, bricks and mortar, whatever it might be, consulting business, whether you're an accountant or whether you're selling fish and chips. If you want people to follow you, then you need to have that system documented. So look, there's lots of generic information out there, but it never fits. Every business is different. And people say, oh, well, a simple business like a lawn mowing business, why do you need systems for that? I say, well, going back in the day, I spent some time looking at VIP lawn mowing by a guy called Bill Viss in Adelaide, still operates. At one stage, they were as big or bigger than Jim's Mowing. Now they leave your lawn looking, pretty good. And then Jim's Mowing, I worked with Jim Penman in the early 90s, helping him get set up in Western Australia. Let's say they probably leave the lawn looking the same. But the two businesses are run totally and utterly different. Bill Viss, if he walked into Jim's office, wouldn't know where to start. And the same with Jim Penman if he walked into Bill Viss's office. So I'll just give that example to highlight. A business is the outcome of an individual or a group of people with their ideas and their solutions to particular issues and problems. And we all, the human brain is extraordinary and comes up with multitudes of different options, and we choose multitudes of different options. So that really is the background with Systems to Grow. So it's also a starting point for people, coincidentally, that do want to grow their business, and they get their systems in, they get them operating. Then if they want to franchise or license it, or, get shareholders in or go public, whatever it might be, whatever their ambitions, whatever the scale of the business, that, Systems to Grow can offer them a solution for it. And it's basically these days, 80% of what you do, if you're systemizing a business, is video. Lots of short, snappy videos, but I won't go into giving too many secrets away.
No, that's right. But I honestly believe that the systems and processes we have is the DNA of our businesses. If the DNA is not, coded properly, then things don't go right. And so we have to have them because, that what gives us the outcome that we want. And the outcome is, to provide a service of some sort. And by having that documented, it makes it so much easier to grow your business, to even control the business, to understand where things are going wrong. So it's very important to have those. What are your next 4 tracks, mate?
Oh, okay. Well, going back to my early days when I used to cycle around on a tandem with a mate from school, I was probably about 15, 16, going to, say, jazz clubs and so on. There was a jazz club in Ealing in West London, and the interval group, we used to go and watch groups like Long John Baldry and people like that, which, if you know a bit of the background of British sort of blues, was quite a prominent singer at one stage. But one of the interval groups that would come on down in the basement under the baker's shop in Ealing was the Rolling Stones. And so we saw them live in the days before they were famous. And I've chosen Honky Tonk Women because it's one that doesn't get heard a lot. It was one of their early ones, and it showed a bit of their I think their talent and their skills, the way that it's sort of it's a little bit unusual, the way the rhythm sort of goes on it. So yeah, that's that one. And we know they've done reasonably well since they were in the
Average.
Goes to show where you can go from the basement, and there's another business analogy there, isn't there?
Always, always.
You've got to work away in the basement before you manage to get up to the higher levels. And then Sherbet, great Australian group. And how's that? I just love that. It's again, it's quite unusual. How's that? It's it asks that question. I'd never thought of its relationship to cricket before, but I guess that may be where the terminology came from when they wrote the song.
Yeah.
But it's a good one. And then one of the, I suppose, less well known these days, a group called T-Rex. They were great. A lot of harmonizing and some great songs that they produced, and one of them was called Hot Love, and that's one I really quite like. It's interesting to listen to. I'm not a musician, unfortunately. I never learned to play a musical instrument or anything like that. I've had a crack a couple of times with dismal failures.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hot Love is just again one of those tunes that's just got a nice sort of blend to it. Yeah. And another one, coming back to what was at the time quite a bold bit of music. We think now today, in the 2000s, the lyrics that people use, F words and everything else, very common. Obviously that's, going back into the late 60s, early 70s, one that was quite significant. And again, West London, The Who came from, again, quite close to me. In fact, a couple of them went to the same college as I did, The Who, but Substitute. That's got that sort of catchy substitute, sort of stuttering, which at the time was actually questioned as being, antisocial, because of its nature. Substitute for another guy. So I just like that. It's a good old bit of rock. The Who are a basic rock band. I'm not necessarily condoning the way they smashed all their guitars and everything else up, but it was certainly entertainment. So they were a cross, I suppose, verged on a bit of punk almost, with their stage performances. But The Who, Substitute. That's my fourth one in the set.
And we're going to be back after these 4 songs.